What do you think of when you imagine contributing to climate change solutions? For many of us, we picture cycling, adjusting the thermostat, using better light bulbs, installing low-flush toilets, buying a hybrid car, planting a tree, or eating less meat. Although these are pieces of the solution on the individual scale, they are small pieces. What I am about to share with you will allow you to picture bigger. I would like to share a study conducted through the University of Alberta, which collected carbon footprint data for 1,203 randomly selected Albertan residents. To calculate a partial carbon footprint, we collected data on how big their homes are, how many cars they own, how far they drive them each week, and how many flights they take in a year. It is important to realize that the residential sector in Alberta only accounts for roughly 12% of emissions, and the energy sector, including coal-fired power plants, conventional oil extraction facilities, and unconventional facilities like the tar sand, contributes 62% of emissions. But for this study, we only wanted to estimate the emissions of the typical Albertan. We found that the average Albertan individual was responsible for 5.5 tons of CO2 emissions per year, which worked out to be approximately 12.2 tons per household. But identifying a typical household is somewhat of a challenge. While the average carbon footprint was calculated as 5.5 tons, footprints range dramatically from 0.5 tons on the low end to 27 tons at the upper limit. Climate scientists believe we must all adopt the lower end of this scale. In fact, Allen et al. Even say that current evidence suggests that this limit is unlikely to be higher than 1 ton of carbon if the goal of limiting global warming to 2 degrees Celsius is to have much chance of being met, and that it may need to be substantially lower. So what does a 1-ton lifestyle consist of? Living in a home with less than 500 square feet per person, owning 1 car or no car, and not frequently driving if owning a car, and flying only once or twice a year. At the other end of the scale, large emitters have a lot more house per person, 1,500 square feet per person on average. They have at least 2 cars and fly an average of 6 times and up to 100 times per year. Not surprisingly, high emitters also tend to be wealthy. When we compared the lowest earning 20% of our participants to the highest earning 20%, we found that affluent households had footprints 2.2 times greater than low-income households. However, these pro-environmental behaviors that we discussed at the beginning are also performed by high-income earners. Paradoxically, the same type of people who are performing climate change mitigating activities are also performing the types of actions that result in emissions of carbon dioxide. Now, in the vast majority of videos, books, podcasts, articles, or presentations concerning the environment, you will be told what you can do to contribute to the solution. We don't want to negate the importance of those pro-environmental behaviors like riding a bike, turning down the heat, changing your light bulbs, using low-flush toilet, getting a hybrid vehicle, planting a tree, and eating less meat. However, these are small pieces of the puzzle, and what we've seen from this research is that first, the demographic most likely to engage in pro-environmental behaviors overlaps with the demographic responsible for higher levels of emissions. And second, the average Albertan individual was found to be responsible for over 5 times the emissions of what climate scientists believe to be the limit an individual should produce. Therefore, we must view our changes from the system level, or as a community. Larger changes come from rethinking social life in a way that minimizes the footprints of all citizens, including low and high emitters. This includes assessing where we live and the proximity of our work and schools to our homes, rethinking the size of our homes and the designs of communities so that we approach higher density and tighter-knit communities that use form-based code and mixed-use development and provide co-housing and cooperative housing living options, redefining neighborhoods as living places where we can walk or bike to get groceries, go to a movie, or meet friends for coffee, and revising the way we transport ourselves by providing lanes and opportunity for alternative transportation. As an individual, your actions can contribute to the larger picture through writing to your city councilor to ask them to improve local route for alternative transportation, demanding that urban sprawl stop, voicing your support for affordable, higher density development close to the center of your town or city, advocating for the use of video conferencing instead of air travel in your workplace and from your elected representatives, and remembering that as a citizen, You have a voice in the type of energy development that your government invests in. As an individual, you can amplify your influence on community decision-making by supporting and gaining support from friends, neighbors, and colleagues. Our actions and lifestyle choices contribute small pieces of the climate change solution, but together as communities and societies, we can start looking at the bigger picture.